One of the cooler things I want to talk about first is I got a new camera. I got the Sony AS300 or something like that. It's Sony's version of the GoPro, and I picked it over the GoPro I had because as I was editing my footage, I really didn't like how shaky it was. And this has a Steadicam built into it. Now I know the GoPro 5 also has a Steadicam built into it, but according to the internet, this one's better, so we're gonna try that. One thing that you've already noticed that's better is I don't have to press the button to talk anymore because it's all analog, whereas the previous one, the GoPro has a digital like USB mic adapter thing. So I can talk to you like this, whereas previously I couldn't. Anyway, I'm gonna get my stuff in order here. I've already got the wing. I don't know what you can see, but it's laid out there behind the house on the ground. And I need to throw a little bit warmer clothes on, a jacket and some gloves, and then we'll go flying. It looks beautiful out. Although I'll tell you, in the winter, it seems that sometimes when it looks this beautiful, it's not. It's real bumpy because the sun's shining and heating up the ground. We've talked about that before. So, shucks, let's get up the air and continue our conversation. Or let me get ready and we'll continue our conversation.
Ooh, I'm totally gonna want sunglasses. Make this thing perfect. That's good. All right, let's see these lines. Beautiful. Beautiful. These are the hardest conditions to launch under. Light and variable. Shucks. It's almost a tailwind now, which is different than when I scouted it out. I'm going to try launching probably left of that windsock, and then I'll turn right before I hit that big tree. And hopefully this goes well. If it doesn't, I will abort. Try to avoid injury. Here we go.
That took some running. I know it's noisy right now. I'm trying to gain altitude, which means lots of throttle. All right. Off we go.
It's Woody from the future. Long-term listeners know that I used to do this series called Mail Monday, where I'd take questions from my subscribers, usually really heavy ones, and give my input and advice. My subscribers were often young, so, you know, compared to them, I was pretty wise. This one's a heavy one, so sit back, buckle up, we're going to talk about it. My girlfriend was raped. Hey Woody, I've been watching all your videos since I was in the 7th grade, and now I'm a high school senior. So I just recently got into my first relationship, and we've been dating for about 7 months. Here's the thing. She was raped 3 years ago by one of my friends that I had no idea about previous to the relationship. She brought this up to me a couple days before we had sex for the first time to let me know that she might be nervous at first, which she was. Once we started having sex regularly, there was no stopping us. We did it well over 50 to 60 times in the summer from June to August, and that's when the problem started. She started having flashbacks of the rape, has not been able to get a full night's sleep in weeks now. She's been keeping me up with her all night to comfort her, which I do because I love the hell out of this girl. Now she's saying that she might not want to have sex at all because it's getting to be way too much for her. I don't know what to do about this. Yeah, I know, sex isn't everything in a relationship, but it just went from 1 to 5 times a day down to about once a week. And that's really frustrating me. Should I stick it out and try to help her get through this, or do something that would be extremely hard for the both of us? I think what he means is, should I stick it out with her or break up with her? Or do something that would be hard on the both of us? I would be willing to stick it out with her if she would get professional help, which I think she really needs, but that's completely out of mind because every time I bring it up, she goes on about how she can never tell anybody. Any help would be greatly appreciated. This is all so new to me. I really have no idea what to do. Thank you, a very loyal subscriber.
So, if this video is going to plan in terms of editing, By now, I have read to you the Mail Monday letter. Shucks, man. I am sorry to hear that happened to your girlfriend. It sucks that we live in a world in which these things happen. The fallout from rape, it kind of, like, in my head, I'm associating it with the fallout from PTSD, you know, like a soldier might go through, or really anyone who was subjected to some kind of traumatic event. There's a more severe version of PTSD called, like, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, but yeah, I'm not an expert. To me, they seem like variations on the same thing. Man, so first off, my heart goes out to you, brother. The first thing I want to address is that you said she's unwilling to seek professional help or talk to her parents about it. And man, I sure would like to see you give that another go. See if you can convince her to come off of that position. I get that you guys are, exiting high school. You're wrapping up years. You're midway through your last year, and you're getting to a stage in life where you just start to handle problems on your own, and that's cool. That's part of the process of growing up and maturing, and awesome. The thing is, when you're 17, 18 years old, and you run into the big problems, the whoppers, like rape or pregnancy, or, the things that are hard to fix, that's when you call in the cavalry. That's when you say, Mom, Dad, I need an assist with this one. Shucks, that kind of behavior continues all the way. Like, I'd be in my mid-40s. I'm 43, but, let's stretch it. And I'd call Dad and say, hey, I've got this staffing issue at work, with the business I own, or I have, incentivizing, or, like, let's talk about partnerships or whatever. Like, I still pull in my father, mostly for business stuff, because I value his opinion. To think that at 17 or 18, you're supposed to start going solo on solving huge problems like the post-traumatic stress disorder that comes with rape is insanity. She should understand that this isn't her fault, and she should understand that it's okay to reach out and get some help, because this is the kind of problems that teenagers get help with. Next up is dealing with the emotional trauma from this. I did a little research, try to help out, and it's tough. There are no easy steps to getting past this, and I feel like I had, God, I hate to compare my own experiences to hers, but when I was a teenager, my house got robbed a lot. We didn't know who was doing it. We didn't know how they were getting in, and it sort of accumulated with me confronting the burglar at, I guess, 17 years old. And, I was kind of proud of my bravery on game day. For a decade, I had night terrors where I'd wake up in a sweat with a recurring nightmare of someone coming through my doorway with, like, a light behind him, and I'd see his, like, figure, and I'm terrified, and I want to fight back, but I'm sleeping, so I'm, like, paralyzed. It was awful. And it eventually became less frequent, and I eventually got past it. But I didn't do anything to get past it. I didn't accelerate the process like I wish I had. I should have gotten counseling like I'm suggesting for your girlfriend. So, one of the things that can be tough on a rape victim is having sex again, as you've discovered. And, shucks,
I don't want to do anything for her that would cause her emotional harm. But with PTSD, the way that they cure that is not like keeping you out of any kind of dangerous situations. It's putting them in those situations and letting them understand that they're safe again. When you're used to gunshots and firecrackers set you off, then you might listen to firecrackers in a safe space and say, yeah, all right, I get it. You know, not everything is lethal. This is going to be okay. If you had issues with invaders or invasion or something, and suddenly you can't sit down at a restaurant unless you're facing the door, they'll have you sit at a restaurant and have your back to the door. Say, all right, let's go easy on this, but we can do this. We're going to be okay. That doesn't mean that, gosh, you guys should be like playing out rape fantasies or anything. That's not where I'm headed with this. I'm just saying that, if you're already sexually active, that taking it slow and easy and understanding it could be a piece of the puzzle towards recovery. Another thing I wanted to put out there is, look, I get that you're a teenage guy. And one thing that's really true about teenage guys is that sexually, once the launch sequence is initiated, it can be pretty disappointing for it not to finish, right? Like, I hear you. I get that. And the thing is, you've got a special girl there, and that means that you might have to be mature in ways that you wouldn't commonly expect from your peer group. If you start and she says, I can't do this, then you might have to be okay with that. That's just where you are, buddy. That's part of the recovery process. All right, another thing I wanted to cover. There were hints in your letter of like, should I even stay in this, right? Maybe I'm reading something that's not there. I don't know. But there was a touch of like this is hard on me. Am I obligated to keep this up? And the answer is no. You're probably going to break up with this girl. I say that because you guys are in high school, and most people meet their future wives after that. So, we can admit that statistically this isn't forever. I get that. Sorry, I'm looking at power lines at the same time here. So statistically this isn't forever. But you are obligated to follow the campfire rule or the campsite rule, which is to say that you need to leave her at least as well as you found her. On the day that eventually you guys separate, and eventually you probably will, it's true for all relationships that you should leave them and leave that person no more damaged than you found them. But if you date a girl that's a rape victim, or is bipolar, or is sick, or has parents that are extra challenging in some way, you really need to be cool about the whole campsite rule. When you do break up with her, or she breaks up with you, don't spread her secret. Don't say anything that would hurt her feelings. Keep in mind that this is someone who at one time you thought was pretty awesome, and deserves to be treated like that, like she's pretty awesome. Another point I wanted to make is you said that at one time you were having sex like 1 to 5 times a day, and then that reduced to once a week. Again, like I get it, you're a teenager, and a big part of your sense of self-worth can be the fact that you're having sex, right? Like there's someone out there who thinks enough of me that they like to screw me, and that adds some sense of like, I don't know, you feel confident, you feel proud of that fact. I get that. It makes sense to me. I'm not judging you too harshly about wanting to have sex. It's just that what I am saying is know that this isn't all about you, and that she didn't suddenly find you fat or ugly or whatever. She's just working out issues on her own. And if it's not the night, then, you know, understand that you're still awesome. It's just not the night. I guess that wraps up the Mail Monday part of the vlog. Now I'll fly around. Maybe try to find my way back home. I'll talk more about that in a second. These tremors should make me go a little bit faster. I like to keep them even, because I want to get home before the sun sets, and I think I'm pretty good on gas. That was part of the reason that launch was so fast. I filled the tank up pretty high. The long-term plan is to buckle my phone to my thigh here. I don't know if the camera's getting my thigh, but if I could have it here and just look down to see the GPS and speed and altitude and stuff, that would be really cool. Oh, another thing. I have a watch coming in today that leaves breadcrumbs as I drive around or fly around, and that'll help me get home too. But it's supposed to come in the mail today, so hopefully that's part of the solution. I'll be all loaded up. Impossible to get lost. Well, I could still probably do it, but I should be in good shape. So I just turned on my heated coat, which is awesome. Dude, so if you don't know, most of the power tool companies make these heated coats. I know Bosch does, that's what I have. So does DeWalt, and so does Milwaukee. I'm pretty sure about DeWalt, but definitely Bosch and Milwaukee. And if you wear a heated jacket when you walk around, it's warm, it helps, it's whatever. But when you sit down, it really presses the heating element against your back and warms you up nicely. And that's what I got going on right now. I have like a nice heating element on my back warming me up. I also have these heated gloves. I don't know if you can see them. I hope the camera's pointing at it, but you can see they're like red, and they're nice too. So the way I see it, you have two options for getting warm. One of those options is to wear bulky stuff, but I have a problem with the bulky stuff because at least the launching and landing aspect of this is an athletic endeavor. You know, you need to run, and you need to have fine throttle control. This is my throttle, and if you're jerky on the throttle, if you don't handle that correctly, then you've got a real mess on your hands. You know, you're swinging around, and you know, if it's on launch or landing, heck, you could crash, which would really suck. So rather than wear really bulky stuff, I wear a thinner coat and thinner gloves with heating elements in them, and then that should keep me as warm as like a heated coat or a big bulky coat, right? So far, my experience is it works, mostly. Like, I'm pretty comfortable up into like the upper 40s, say 48 degrees, a little bit chilly. I don't know if I want to go to 45 or 40 flat with this stuff. But North Carolina, like the average temperature in December and January is 53 and 48. So if the average is, I'll call it 50, I should be able to catch a day that's like 55, 58, like almost once a week, right? That's just a little above average. So that's my thought process going on right now. That I can wear these thinner heated things and stay warm. And right now I'm really comfortable. If anything, maybe my toes are the coolest and I have winter boots on. So yeah, I feel like the heated coat strategy is working out. Speaking of working out, following Raleigh as a landmark I think is working out too. That right there, I'm pretty sure that's the baseball fields. And they're one of my landmarks where I really know I'm close to home. Because the baseball fields, and that's a field that I use like as a potential landing zone. So I think I'm unlost. Woo woo! Unlost! I'm really happy to be unlost. And the sun's just getting behind a cloud now, but it really feels like the clock is ticking. Like I need to get home. But man, I really, really like paramotoring. Like, God, this is so cool. So, like, I am up here in what I always call a privileged perspective. Like, I've been flying around for like an hour now, just buzzing around through the sky. Look at the sun behind those clouds. And me, like, sitting in this chair at like 1,000 feet in the air. This is incredible. This is the bomb diggity. I'm quite confident no one says the bomb diggity, but yeah, this is just woohoo, man. It is exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited. If there's one thing I want to do, I want to find some more larger fields. Like, I like the one that I went to with the cows in it, but I don't want to hassle cows. What I want to do is a lot of low flying and zipping around, and I really enjoy that. The flying low aspect of paramotoring is fun. So is high, but I like going low too. So what I need to do is either Google map it or just explore like I did today and find nice open fields so that I can, you know, fool around above them. The thing about North Carolina is, if you just do nothing to this land for like 10 years, you get a forest. It takes no time at all. That's why, like, most of America's furniture at one point came from North Carolina, because there's so many trees here. We were an ideal place to make it. Now I feel like that happens in like Vietnam and China and stuff like that. But that's a political discussion for another day. In terms of paramotoring, you know, it just, I go from LZ to LZ, whereas I imagine a place like Ohio or Iowa is just open fields forever. All right. Got my trim settings and my harness all set up for landing. I'll probably buzz around a time or two as I, you know, look at a windsock and just make sure that I'm happy with the way everything looks, and then I'll set it down. What I've been trying to do is land like the pros do. So I land, I keep flying while I'm running, and then put the wing behind me and set it down nice on its tail. That's how an advanced pilot would launch or would land. But you know, it feels like in low wind or nil wind like this, that's been hard to pull off. So I'm a little high right now. I think what I'm gonna do is just take a lap, and that next time I come in, I'll be, you know, exactly where I want to be altitude-wise. Sketch with this wire scares me. Okay, now I need to get down. Let's do this. All right, it's gonna happen. All right, that was not bad. That was, yeah, I set it down on its side. I know I said tail, but I'll accept side, especially with no wind at all. And a wildly successful flight. Looks like the sun's just setting, so I'm about out of time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, hit the like button and let me know that I should make some more. Comment, I don't know. That sort of thing inspires me to make videos. Have a good day.
Multi-million-dollar deals, got $1 million deal. When I was younger, I would wonder how $1 million feel. And for real, it feel like I ain't even broke a seal. Cause when you drop hits, they want you to pick up the bill. Now my life is in Maryland, my heart is in Chicago. New York state of mind, but out LA, man, that's where I go. When I need to lay this shit down, so much on my mind, that's the reason I'm spitting now.